How we contextualize math in everyday life, which will be presented by Mrs. Ankita and Mrs. Janet from Indian High School.
Good afternoon. My name is Janet Chibu and I'm Ankita. We are from IHS. To make learning happen or to make it fun and relevant to the learners, it is important to point out where, when and how we will apply this maths in our daily life. Generally, when we take mathematics class, many questions arise in students' mind that why we need to learn this, where we will apply this topic, does it really make any significance in our life, will we apply it in our real life or not? Many things go around in their mind. So, to make learners realize the relevance of what they learn in the class, we need to do contextual learning. Through contextual learning, they not only are able to relate what they learn in the class to the outside world, but it is the best way the learner can understand, learn, as well as retain it for a longer time. So contextual learning will be the best way they can do it. And for that, I think the best idea is we need to take them out from their classrooms. So we would like them to take it as learning should be done outside the classroom. Okay, now why we need to do this? There are some objectives like learning mathematics outside the classroom is not only an enrichment, it is the core of empowering the learner's understanding of the subject. There are some more objectives. This is the main objective, that is to relate the real world. That means the question which is arising in their mind will be solved in the first objective, that what relevance it makes to the world outside when they learn in the classroom. Second one is to develop extensive knowledge of mathematics. Now here, when they come out to the world, or maybe I'm talking not only in the school campus, it can be a field trip taking them out. So for suppose there are different objects, they can compare, they can contrast, there will be different ideas. Maybe the point of view which we are looking may not be the student's point of view. So there will be different discussions on the same topic which can make us feel that there is a extensive knowledge going on that particular topic. The second one is kinesthetic skills. You must be aware of work, visual, auditory, and different types of learning skills are there. Now when we did the work test in our school, we found that majority of students were falling under V and K, that is visual and kinesthetic. So while kinesthetic learners are generally doers, they always learn faster when they experimentally do the things themselves, when they experience the activity. So this kinesthetic skill will be enhanced to that particular type of learners also. Next, the other one is enhance social skill. Definitely, when you take them out as a group or a group task or individual task, their social skill. We have seen, like in our class, we have mixed ability level learners, and some are basic or some are great, some are advanced. And they have some skill like some are not very free to talk about, or they are not very free in good in communication. So in these activities, that communication skill, how to explore the world, how to interact with their classmates, how to do the problem solving, teamwork, all these skills are enhanced, as well as this comes under social skills. Definitely physical is there because they are not constrained at the same four walls. They are free to move around. So physical, and since they are happy, they are enjoying, and they are in a good weather condition outside. Good weather means in Dubai, from October, November you can. Okay, so activities you can plan according to the curriculum, which can be done indoor and what can be done during the good weather condition. So mental as well as, since they are happy, we are also happy, so it becomes as emotional health. Now, some benefits. There are many benefits, few I have tried to point out. The first one is resources. Here, the resources are limitless because you know your school campus, you know which all article or which all items can be shown or used for your mathematics activities. Because I have seen, being a mathematics teacher, I always look a thing first as a geometrical shape or the symmetry or the numbers. These are the things which come to my mind. So in our school there are many 3D shapes or many 2D shapes or many symmetrical objects as well as many mathematical which is found in nature. So we can ask the children to observe the thing, and what they observe in that nature can be noted down. Now it can be done as a cross-curriculum link as well as based on their skill. Some children will be very good in writing, so they can write something about a flower in the form of a poem for English. The other one who is good can think of drawing the flower. The one who is good in symmetry can write something why it is based on symmetrical object. Like that, we can correlate all the subject for one simple topic for a child. The other one is they appreciate, they come to know, okay, that's how I didn't realize. Every day I used to come to school, but I never realized that symmetry or 2D shapes or 3D shapes make so difference in the real life. Motivation, okay, they are highly motivated because as soon as you tell them, let's move out from the classroom, they are highly motivated and they are curious to know. Then comes relevant. We are actually trying to relate what is taught in the class and what is the relevance to our daily life. So relevance goes, and the second one, next one is problem solving. Here, it can be taken as problem solving, like if we give them some objective, what is the objective behind this activity, and send them and do it outside the classroom. That can be one problem solving. Second, there will be many problems when they do that activity. They will face many problems while solving that activity. They will learn how to solve those problems. So that skill is enhanced. The other one is connect. Connection here is connecting indoor activity with the outdoor, or what they learn in theory, they are doing it practical, or what they learn in the class, it's connected to the real world. Then the attitude. The attitude is actually, it is enhanced and it is improved towards learning. And imagination. Here we found that imagination, like we gave them one project where we told them, okay, this summer vacation when we are going to, you are going, like most of our class students are belonging to India. So they go to India, but in India itself we have different states and different variety, all the tradition, culture, all are different. So we told them, okay, you collect what you find it very attractive, and it is something, if it is related to symmetry, you just capture the photographs of those and put it as a collage form or put it in a paper. It's up to you how you want it. Take the photographs, collect it and present it as a project. Now you will be surprised to know the collection and how they arranged it. It was, they told that we never noticed that symmetrical objects or line symmetry or rotation symmetry or 2D, 3D all are related, and that's why a thing looks beautiful when it is symmetrical. The importance they came to know, as well as they were able to appreciate the presence and the utility of this symmetry in architecture. So some took architecture, it's according to their interest. Some were interested in nature. So we could understand because the collection was more based on nature. Some of them collected of the buildings. So that means their thinking is more on architecture line. So this way we were able to know their interest in particular field through the collection of the project. So these are the just summing up. Same thing, limitless, ability to appreciate, connect theory, higher motivation level, explore, nurture their creativity, imagination, improve problem solving, and make learning relevant, improve attitude to learning, greater enjoyment and achievement, because it can be given as integrated project also, greater enjoyment and attainment. When you can take one topic, like suppose we take a smaller group, primary children, to the zoo. Now it may not be the social teacher or the science teacher taking the child to the zoo just to give them knowledge about a particular animals and this thing. It can be the science teacher can talk only about the scientific biology and all those things related to that different animals belonging to different areas. Social teacher can ask them to collect the information which all type of animals belong to that particular areas on different world. The third one, mathematics teacher, during the journey itself she can ask, this time we left the school, this is the time we reached the zoo, what is the time duration, what is the time lap. So this way they can calculate the time and distance taken. And those who are interested in arts, you can tell them to put just a sketch of different, what is your view, what picture is there in your mind regarding the zoo, they can just put the drawing. And for the English teacher can tell them just write a summary or your feedback or your experience, what was your experience when you went for a field trip to the zoo. So same one single topic can be integrated for different languages. Ankita will tell us how we do it in our IHS.
Now, how we do implement all these outside lab activity in our school. We have taken few topics, we cannot clip all of them, and we have done in such a way that 5, 6, 7 are, we have taken 5, 6, 7 are doing on one topic so that we can show the vertical integration, and 8, 9, 10 are doing on another topic. This is grade 5 students find out the perimeter of a rectangular objects or rectangular shapes. What they do is, to their surprise, they realize that their favorite hopscotch game is made up of rectangular shape, which they have played for so many days but may not have paid an attention that yes, that is their rectangular in shape. So we just let them go out and say that identify any rectangular shape here and you find the perimeter. So the first thing they found is their favorite hopscotch area, and they have started measuring the perimeter. Different groups have identified different areas here. They are noting down the dimensions. She has found for her first square, so she is saying 4 into side is the perimeter. Now another object they have identified is the notice board. Here they are applying the daily life contest, that is what will be the total boundary of the frame. So, and they apply at home also, they find the lace if they have to put around their handkerchief or dress or anywhere, that what will be the perimeter of that thing. Grade 6, grade 5 not only stop there. After that what we give is, we tell them that this is a perimeter, and they go for a treasure hunt to identify the correct rectangle which is approximately near to that perimeter. So that approximation also set into their mind, because they have already found out objects of different perimeter. They could realize that okay, this much size will measure this much. Small objects, how much is the approximate? So if you give them the perimeter, they can go and find out which object or which photo frame or which area in the school is approximately near to that.
Their own benchmark now.
Yes, yes. Thank you. So now in grade 6 they graduate from perimeter to area. not only they find the area, what they do is, we have given them one length of row, and they are creating different rectangles of different dimension with that particular row, and then calculating the area. To their surprise, they realize that even though the perimeter remains the same, the areas are changing. So they are making the different shapes, and through this activity they come to know that whichever perimeter you give, if the perimeter remains same, when they make the different rectangles, square will be having the largest area. So they have concluded something. So this activity takes them beyond their grade level. They are creating their rectangles of their own. They found, analyzed that even if the perimeter remains the same, the area may vary, and they are synthesizing that they are calculating what are the possible dimension of rectangle they can create. So many things they are developing through this activity. Okay, this is, they are applying it in the daily life. They are measuring the area of the glass, and if we were told that if you have to replace this glass, how much glass you need to buy. So they are measuring what is the length and breadth of this, and they are calculating its area. Grade 7, they calculate the circumference and the area of a circle. So from rectangle, square, they graduate to circle. Here what they do is, with trial and error method, they find the diameter of a circular object using the concept diameter is the largest chord. So they take different measurement and they see where the diameter will be. So, and in this they are using the same concept to find the center. Two diameters are intersecting, that will be the center of the circular object. So they have, generally in the class what we do, we give them a radius or diameter, they have to just construct a circle. When they went out of the classroom, they could realize that how the diameter is the largest chord can be applied to find the center and the diameter of the circle, which is already there. So in this case, they are finding the circumference of this circular pot with a rule. Using the same row, now again they are forming a square. They are measuring the length of the row and they will form a square, and then compare the area of the two. Here also, since the length of the row is same, the circumference of the circle and the square is same. But they are calculating the circumference. From the circumference, using pi equal to almost 3D, they have calculated the radius and the diameter, calculating the area and comparing with the area of the square, and they found that area of the circle is more than the square. This concept they are applying in their daily life, going home and making a decision to buy their study table according to their requirement. If they need more area, they are going for a circular table which will give them the most area. If they need smallest table, they are either going for rectangle, and in between is the square. So they have vertically integrated their knowledge, their concept, that rectangle having the one particular perimeter will have the least area, then square, and then the circle. So like this, till grade 7, we have taken up the topic of mensuration. Now for 8, 9 and 10. 8, 9, 10, we have selected the topic of statistics.
Hi, good morning. We are the students of IHS and today we are out in the campus to find the statistics in everyday life.
Grade 8, they are going to their own school canteen and collecting the data that which food item is sold most, or which is the favorite food items among the students. Girls have done on food and boys are doing on drinks. All different type of juice, flavored milk. They are taking the data from the canteen and now they are calculating using the percentage and expressing it in the form of pie chart. This is the same thing is done in the transport. They are finding out how many buses ply to different area. So they are not only collecting data and analyzing, they are also drawing conclusion that most of the students belongs to which area. So many things they can correlate from here. If an area is requiring more number of buses, that means more number of students are from that particular area. And they also learn that this is their primary data. When they go to higher classes, they will need to compare between primary and secondary data. Then we can say that you, in grade 8, what you did, you went first-handed, you collected the data that we call as primary data, and immediately they can correlate because they have done themselves. If when they do it on their own, they never forget. In grade 9, from pie chart they have graduated to histogram. What they are doing, they are taking the weight and height of the students and they are calculating the BMI in the school medical center.
Swati's height is 155 and weight is 50. Jason size is 128 and her weight is 63.
All this calculation, they sit outside and do it. And they enjoy that instead of in the restricted environment of the 4 walls. They sit outside and they are calculating using tally marks. The frequency quality.
Used to measure the height and weight of all classmates and also calculating the D amount. The normal range lies between 18.5 to 25. In our class, very few students have gone beyond this limit. But in other classes, there are many students who have crossed this range. So, we thought of doing an obesity awareness app.
So using this data, they have launched an obesity campaign, Say No to Obesity, in the school. Grade 10 has done on mean, median, mode. The concept of mean is very clear to them because they always find the mean marks among the fellow student or whatever. They know that mean is adding up all the, it is nothing but average. In layman's language, we call it average. But median and mode is generally a gray area for them. They don't really know how to apply median and mode. Where do they apply median and mode in daily life? So what they have done is, they have made a survey. It was school charity bazaar. So you can see what they have stitched their costume using the concept of median.
The charity bazaar is just around the corner, and we are at the last stage of costume designing. Using the concept of statistics in class, our choreographer came up with the idea of taking the measurement using the same. The girls were made to stand in 3 lines of small, medium, and large size. Then, using the concept of median, the measurement of the middlemost girl was taken.
You can see that they realize that all the ready-made garments use the concept of median to stitch their garment. Small, they don't go and measure, they take a roughly one measurement. What is that type of measurement? It is nothing but using the concept of median. How the mode is used? The most selling size are prepared more in number. Odd sizes are not prepared so much. So they are using the concept of mode to stitch how many dresses they need to stitch for which category, which size, how many goes. That they calculate using the mode. Another thing, you can see that another form of charity bazaar.
Our school had conducted a charity drive the previous year. After the same year, a statistics was taken and it was observed that among all the items that were sold, food items contributed the most. Among food items itself, brownies were the most sold. Therefore,
So she has concluded that last year charity bazaar, brownies were the most sold food item. So this year, this Thursday only, we had another charity bazaar for this year. So this year, maximum number of students made brownies. And it sold again like a hot cake. Within 45 minutes, all our brownies got over. And children who came later, they didn't find any. So they used the concept, what they learned, and applied in their daily life. So we can see that from 8 to 10, how did they, from just starting from data handling, analyzing, they have taken the concept to how to apply in their daily life. So now they never come and ask, ma'am, why do we study maths? Why? What is the need of this to do? They know where all, and believe me, they have started looking for maths everywhere. Anywhere they go, ma'am, you know, we saw, as she said, we saw a symmetrical building in Dubai. That is the symmetrical building. That is not congruent but symmetrical. They have started looking for everywhere. They are looking for maths now. They have understood that they identified that building is symmetrical, but that is not congruent. But that building is congruent. So it is amazing that how they come up with their own ideas. So many things we also may not have realized when we were teaching. They come up with idea. Ma'am, don't you think it is also this concept? We also, it gives us a feed to our curiosity or our thought process that yes, it can be done like that. So when just let them loose, you will get so much of input from them. We do not know how much potential they have within them. We don't, if you restrict them within the classroom, they are not, let them explore, they will come up with marvelous ideas. That's, thank you. Any idea, anywhere you are doing the same type, can we have a, we also want to know that any topic, yes.
Actually, we made lots of journals relating math to
Okay.
real life. For example, we gave him one journal about the River Nile length, and we made it as a story.
Okay.
It was for rounding numbers.
Hmm.
And we said that the boy wanted to memorize the River Nile length. That's why he rounded up in his mind to 7,000 kilometers. Now it's your turn to find out a river and round it to the greatest place value. That was very interesting, and students
very nice.
interacted very
So
nicely.
from where they got the
From the internet, I told them that
Yes.
you must search or tell us about the river you have visited, seen on TV, read about it or heard about it. You can search the net for the length of the river and round it to the greatest place value.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
Although they have learned approximation.
Yeah, and I have actually learned from them as well. I've heard about
that is
rivers that I had
learning.
never heard about before.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it was
yes.
very nice.
Anything else? Anyone practicing in their school? Any other topic is coming in your mind?
Yeah. And we made it also for calories.
Calories.
Yeah,
okay.
the food label.
Yes,
as
yes,
well.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, we gave them example. If you eat this food item for 7 days a week, for 7 days, in 1 week, how much calories will you get? So they have used the expanded form.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very good.
Yeah,
See,
distributed
it's a new
properties.
idea. We never thought
So
of
you
it. We can apply this in our school too.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It's really influences.
When we introduce fractions in junior
Yes,
classes,
yes, yes.
we give cakes, pies, and all
Yes.
picture cutouts of cakes and pies, and fractions, half and 1/4 we introduce that way. with
Very
manipulated
good.
ones.
Yeah.
Very
That
good.
actually, see, when you bring the model in front of them, it actually influences. Like when I can tell about my son, when he was in grade 4 and all, 3rd and 4th, they introduced fractions and all. So when we brought the pizza and I was cutting, earlier when he was small, he used to say, I want the bigger piece, okay, the biggest of. Then second time when he was in 4th and 5th, he used to say, no, I want the bigger part of the whole. That means he's thinking in top of
Yeah, as parts.
like a
Yeah.
fraction.
Yeah.
Now he's in 5th and he's in 6th. So you have learned about the circle. So he says the biggest sector. So you see how he has, you can see that improvement in the vocabulary.
Yes, and they are using
So
that
that's
in
what it
real
is,
life
yes.
as well. Yeah.
Any other topic? Trigonometry.
See, outside lab activity can be done like in the shadow and the height,
Yeah.
Yes.
isn't it? That has to be done
Outside.
outside. You
Yeah.
cannot do it indoor and you cannot do it at night.
Right.
Only on the
the sun.
bright sunny day we have it in
Yes,
Dubai. You can do it. Find out the height of any pole or tower and just compare with the ratio and proportion of this.
Similarity, exactly.
Similarity.
Thank you. That's very good. So all these things, anything else?
Only thing is how we as a teacher can make teaching meaningful using the resources present in our school.
Subtracting also.
Yeah.
Adding and subtracting.
Yes.
I apply that when they bring some items in my class and put a prices,
Yes.
so and so, and bring them some real banknote to deal with them, and whom will buy, whom will sell.
Yes.
Each one has one item and he can change it by the other. Find the
Yes.
difference between the prices, how much you have to pay, how much you have to get. Yes, applying, adding and subtracting in the class.
Yes,
Yes,
very,
very
and higher level can use that as commercial mathematics also in business and all. Very
Yes.
good, very good.
Lower classes is like shopping. And
Yes.
we learn about the
Yes.
way how to
How
read
you
it.
can deal with, yes, with real banknote
Money,
in
currency.
market.
Yes.
Anything else like algebra? How can you teach algebra outside the classroom?
Really boring topic.
See, the best thing is just take them out, tell that just introduction. 1 leaf values 5. I am giving you 5 leaf. So that leaf actually stands for your x. So, or if actually calculate the total amount, or even if you give them a bag of pebbles, value of this whole bag is so much. They can count how many pebbles are there in that bag. They can calculate what is the value of each pebble. Also, you have to collect so much value. Each pebbles is worth so much. They can go around and collect what amount has been given to them. So all these things are nothing but just the introduction to algebra. They are not restricted that it has to be with numbers. It can, anything which has a value can replace a number. Yes.
But it is my personal experience that in
Yes.
algebra, like when you teach the basic concepts, you have some teaching aids. But when you go to the higher end, like
Yes.
quadratic equation, linear programming, you don't have, much sources or aids to, teaching aids.
I'll tell you one thing. I was, it is in CBSE, they have launched a new curriculum, CBSE International. So they have this idea of practical learning. So when I was started with the quadratic equation, I just found out how does this quadratic equation started. It actually started with the concept of area. In Babylon, they used to calculate the area using, because every time the Nile, because of Nile, it used to wash away, and they had to calculate back their area, and from there the concept of quadratic equation actually started, and they used the concept of squaring, the method of squaring. So everything, not every topic, but to some extent.
Yeah, like in linear equations also, the physical balance and balancing the equation and how, generally what we say is transposition, or we do the inverse operation both sides. But if you just physically show them, take a physical balance, you take the potato from one place to the other pan. It goes up and this comes down. That means here it is subtraction, here is addition. And we tell this, it's a transposition. When you take x minus 3 is equals to 5, the minus 3 becomes plus 3. Just they think like that, but it is an inverse operation. Here you are just taking it out and putting it the other side. Now if you want to balance it, you have to add here. So automatically this will come up and go up. So to balance, you have to somehow relate it.
I have a question. Use this relation to the real life as introduction to the lesson, as application to the lesson, or
wherever required, wherever the requirement comes. Sometimes, like this quadratic equation, when I started, I gave them the introduction that in Babylon.
I think if we introduce the lesson in this way, it means they will conclude.
Yes.
What is the idea in the
See, it depends on, like, one chapter we cannot finish in one lesson plan, isn't it? One day. Now, if it is a new topic, you have to start with some motivator, with the real life.
Yes.
Then they will come to know, okay, that's what, why we are going to learn.
do normal way, normal
Yeah.
work.
Yes, and in the next chapter you have to take it to just to check the previous knowledge. Then so it does double purpose. It can be previous knowledge and it can act as a motivator also. And then you can connect it.
Linear programming also we can start with real life applications.
Yes.
Because linear programming we starting with the inequalities. No? To find inequalities we can go for real application. If a person going for shopping, he is going to buy 2 types of items, X and Y. And suppose for example a condition is given, total number of items should be at least 6. So x plus y less than equal to 6.
Yes.
Like that we can start with the real life application.
I remember just one time when I explained integers, I showed them a video with the towers and the hole or the sea. So just imagine that when we say negative means something below.
Below, yes.
Yes,
Below
very
means-
good, very.
And something, and also deposit money and withdrawal money and.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes.
what.
All these
In the
things.
lift
Borrowing
also
money,
we
yes,
tell
they
them
borrow
now when
money.
they go to basement parking, mezzanine,
Yes.
Until
then
then.
come,
Ah.
go up first, second, third floor. So these all,
They like this way.
they don't look it at it. Now when we tell them, no, they understand. Okay, that means this is the zero, going first, second, third floor is the positive, down is the negative.
Yes.
So we have to correlate always
you are doing
why
that.
they are studying that, what is taught in the class.
Also, one time when I explained also polygon, I took my students outside the school as a field trip to just observe some building, draw it, and then find some different kinds of polygons. They enjoyed also.
Yes, very good. Really, they explore, and it is permanent in their memory. They never forget that.
And see, the campus where they are living or they are coming for education, they should be aware of it that, like we have taken 2 activities from the canteen, from the transport. Then only they came to know, oh, so many buses are there in our school. Okay, these are the stuffs which is sold. So they are also exploring their own environment. We can take it beyond to the school campus. It's our school trip or the educational trip or to some other places. Anything else?
Any doubt?
We
any
enjoyed
question?
it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
We enjoyed that. Thank you.